Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Mike Chua, physical therapist, certified dementia practitioner, and your alternative career coach. Welcome to our career healthcare podcast and show where we talk about different ways to find your alternative career and achieve both work and financial freedom. So visit our website, drmikechua.com or alternativehealthcarecareers.com for more information. Again, thank you for watching and listening. Welcome to our show. Be awesome, be great, be excellent, ACG. Have a great day and enjoy the show. Bye-bye. All right. Hello, everyone. Again, this is Dr. Mike Chua, physical therapist, certified dementia practitioner. And yes, I am your alternative career coach. What is going on, Alternative Healthcare Career Group? Well, anyway, today we've got a special guest. I think we are streaming this already in our group. This is amazing. I think I'm going to just keep on playing here in my phone. Again, thank you very much for those people who are watching. If you are watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. Well, I see I see Emma. Thank you very much, Emma, for watching. Our awesome administrator. She takes care of everything on our stuff here in this website or whatever you call that, Facebook group, website, courses, and everything. So thank you very much, Emma, for doing this. And then, of course, our awesome new intern, Stacy. Thank you very much, Stacy, and Natasha for taking care of the stuff here, because without them, this wouldn't be happening, because they teach me everything, the Zoom, the stuff here, and everything like that. So again, if you're watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay, because we have a special guest for tonight. Her name is, I have to ask her again how to say her name. Joanie, there you go. Joanie Johnson. She's actually an occupational therapist, and she's been posting and helping us out here in this group on how to create your resume and stuff like that, how to find stuff, jobs, and everything. We're going to ask her what she does, what does she do, and everything like that. Hey, Tanya, thank you very much for watching, Tanya. Appreciate you for commenting live. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, before that's Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle Anderson, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you for watching. All right, again, if you are still here in the group, Alternative Careers, Alternative Healthcare Career, we have to change. It used to be ACG, right? Alternative Careers Group. Now it's Alternative Healthcare Career. I've been calling it ACG for a very long time, and not knowing, I didn't know the acronyms of our group. So it's actually AHC, Alternative Healthcare Career Group. I was just, it's so hard to say AHC group. Maybe I just need the teaching. Somebody has to teach me how to talk and say those letters. All right, again, Yolanda. I see Yolanda. Thank you very much, Yolanda, for watching. Hello, I'm all the way live. Thank you very much, Yolanda. Appreciate you. So again, if you're watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay and put down your discipline. If you're a PT, OT, speech, or whatever. And then if you are actually looking for a job, type in, because we have a special guest. It's Joanie, Joanie Johnson, and she's going to help us out, and then we're going to ask her stuff. All right, Joanie, let's go inside there you go, Joanie. All right, Joanie, please tell us where you are at. What do you do? And what is Polished to Prosper? Gosh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thank you so much for having me on the show. So as you said, I'm an occupational therapist by profession. I have been in leadership and management roles for over 10 years now, and also own a couple of small businesses myself. So I also have that entrepreneurial heart deep down. And so a couple of years ago, I got into resume writing primarily because my current role is very content writing heavy, and I work very closely with human resources because I manage a large program for a hospital system over here on the West Coast. And in my current role, I got a lot of experience writing job descriptions, writing interview questions, being on interview panels, and through that experience, I had a lot of friends and colleagues ask me, hey, do you mind looking at my resume? I'm having a hard time finding a job. Or, can you look at my business plan and give me some feedback on content writing? And so the resume writing started somewhat organically and sort of fell on my lap in the sense of, finding that people really could benefit from some help with resume writing, cover letter writing, LinkedIn, job searching, and also interview coaching, which is another service that we offer. So Polish to Prosper offers all of those services. So professional resume writing, cover letter support, job search tips and tricks, LinkedIn profile help, as well as small business consulting for those who are wanting to start their own business or work for themselves.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So you're an OT. So and then you became leadership position and everything, and then you realize, hey, I think I can guide and coach people how to do this. Right? Is that correct? You mentioned.
Yeah. Being on working for large hospital systems and working closely with HR and being a hiring manager for many years myself, I've come across lots of resumes, been in a lot of interviews, and sort of have grown in that area and able to, be able to identify key candidates. I've seen a lot of resumes and a lot of interviews. And so through that experience and also doing a lot of content writing for my work, decided to reach out and try professional resume writing, which I've done for a couple years now. So,
Oh wow. Oh wow. That's amazing.
we just rebranded our website, and Tanya Peterson, who's another occupational therapist, is coming on board with me and offering the professional LinkedIn help and support. And she's got a very keen eye for marketing and strategy for healthcare providers as well.
All right. All right. Oh, wow. Well, again, thank you very much for watching live, ladies and gentlemen. I see Kobe Bakoy. Thank you very much, brother, for watching. He's a good friend of mine. He's based in Florida. Kobe, you need to connect with Joanie, brother. If he would always ask me, hey, I'm applying for a new job, et cetera, et cetera. Can you check out my resume and everything? And I said, okay, that's good. Well, you mentioned about LinkedIn. Is it worth it to? There are different levels of LinkedIn, right? I mean, the basic, the premium, or whatever. And I always see the same questions in the group. Hey, is it worth it to get the LinkedIn premium or whatever you call that? And how do you beautify your LinkedIn profile? Right?
So I think that LinkedIn is a little bit underutilized for those in healthcare. And, in my professional opinion, I think it can be a really great tool, both to make professional connections, to get endorsed on your skills and experience. And also research shows that professional recruiters, if you have your LinkedIn information on your resume and cover letter, 80% of them will look at your LinkedIn profile because it tells a little bit more about your work history, a little bit more about your story, your other professional qualities. And so it is a really great tool to demonstrate those skills, abilities, accomplishments in a very professional way. And, there are a lot of functionalities of LinkedIn that will help with job searches. With some of the other packages that they have with LinkedIn, you can actually connect directly with recruiters. You can apply for positions through LinkedIn. You can belong to a lot of different types of groups, depending on your background, specialty, clinical expertise. And so I think that it is a very useful tool, especially for those that are wanting to really be aggressive in your job search. And for those that are wanting to maybe even transition out of direct patient care into something more administrative, management, sales. Those are areas where LinkedIn can have a pretty significant impact and be helpful in your career search.
You know what? Thank you for pointing that out. I have a LinkedIn page too, and I get a lot of messages from recruiters. Hey, we have this opening, et cetera, et cetera. And in the coaching mastermind group that I joined, I have like several mastermind that I joined, and most of them are either speakers and authors, and I mean,
Mhm.
they're not in the healthcare field, and they would always ask me, "Hey, how's your LinkedIn page? How's your LinkedIn profile?" My LinkedIn profile is not as good as my Facebook page, but I do have my LinkedIn profile. I have there. I have my books, the jobs that I had, the business that I
Mhm.
have, and it helps because even in the LinkedIn itself, it's okay. So when you create your LinkedIn profile, ladies and gentlemen, if you are still watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay on the LinkedIn page itself. If you set it up, I mean, you can do it yourself, but you can probably talk to Joanie about it. If you set it up and then do the job stuff there, even put in the logo of the school or the job that you've had and connection in the job, you can actually
Mhm.
print your LinkedIn profile and become your actual resume. It becomes a resume itself on your LinkedIn profile. And I believe some of those recruiters actually use those thing to download it and then use it as their resume system. What's that resume system again, Joan?
So there's the ATS system. So that's the applicant tracking system. And I can give a little bit of information because LinkedIn is similar to ATS in the sense that it uses algorithms, just like websites do, just like Google. There's certain keywords and key terms and algorithms that help you pop up in people's searches. And so that is one thing with both a professional resume and with LinkedIn is using keywords and key terms that are industry standards and specific action verbs, and that really helps your documents get through the tracking system, the applicant tracking system for online applications, as well as with LinkedIn. So, which is something that we help with, both with writing the about me sections in the LinkedIn, and then also adding keywords and key terms in the right places, both for their resumes and for LinkedIn.
When you say keywords, what are those keywords that do we need to copy and paste those keywords from the actual job description, or could you share us more about that?
Yeah. So in my LinkedIn profile, I have a couple of different titles. So I have operations manager, which is my title for my full-time job. I have entrepreneur. I'm also a photographer, and I'm a small business owner. I own a pediatric clinic as well. And so I have all of those titles, but then in the about me section, it's really talking about your professional background, your accomplishments. You can put a little bit more, I don't want to say personal information, but a little bit more about, telling your story, because we all know that storytelling is really important in a resume, in LinkedIn. What you're about, who you are, what's important to you, what you're passionate about, why would somebody want to hire you? What are your skills and abilities, and what do you bring to the table? And then on the bottom, there's a place where, we put keywords and key terms in that help with that algorithm process. And then, with your similar to a chronological resume, there's when you put your work history in there, putting in keywords and key terms in the work history also really helps, so that not only with the algorithm, but when people are viewing your profile, that they can look at your work history and your accomplishments. Because in this day and age, both in LinkedIn and your resume, you really do have to describe more than just the tasks you accomplish in a job. Because basically you would just be reiterating a job description versus what did you actually accomplish? What's the outcome of what you did in those roles? So,
That's so true. That is so true. What's the outcome? Because
mhm,
just like in any job or business, it's not the goal is not to please the customer, because everybody's pleasing the customer, right? The goal is to amaze and wow the
mhm,
customer. And same thing when you're applying for a job and looking for a job, and there are a lot of qualified applicants there, and you have to learn how
mhm.
to not really work around, but make your resume really impressive that it will pass through those computer stuff, pass through those the ATS again. What do you call that? ATS
So yeah, it's the applicant tracking systems.
applicant tracking system. So okay, all right.
Yeah, and most government positions, large hospital systems, anywhere online use an ATS primarily because they get hundreds of applicants, and it's essentially an algorithm in a way that the computer will scan your resume and cover letter before it ever actually gets into the hands of anyone in talent acquisition. And the reason for that is to filter people out that don't have the right skills, criteria, licensure, credentials, to make it easier because of the volume of work that typically recruiters and HR have these days in going through all of the applications. And so, one component of ATS is, keywords and key terms, organizing your information in a very succinct, concise, but detailed way using the right action verbs, listing out your key accomplishments. But then another piece of it is having a professionally formatted resume that's easy to read. I can give an example of a resume that somebody sent me fairly recently, not in healthcare, in a different industry, but it had different boxes, different places. It had timelines. It was really hard to find the right information. And, I think sometimes people want to get really creative with their resume, putting pictures, graphics, the things. But for me, I think having it very organized, very easy to read, somebody doesn't have to question your credentials, your experience. It's very clear, is really going to get you a lot farther, both with going through the ATS process, as well as just being more visually appealing to a potential hiring manager.
You know what? Thank you for pointing that out. Some people, they just want to be creative. You know what I did when I was young, applying for a job in the Philippines? There's no Indeed, there's no internet during that time, and what we did is printed out our resume, and then I was a professional job hunter. You got to be a professional job hunter if you don't have a job, right? And what we did is I printed out, obviously, at first it was good paper, and then you ran out of good paper. Buy those, lousy papers, whatever you call that. Well, there's a quality paper, right? And then what I did is just carry the business card, and the business card had all my information, and to the point that even my business card, I'd made it so creative that it has lost the essence of my application. I made it so creative, and then what I did is, instead of just a regular card, I created an acetate. You know what an acetate is? It's the transparent thing. It's a plastic.
Oh.
And then they were like, "Oh gosh," and it looks good to me. But of course, the person's like, "Oh, this person not serious." So if you put pictures and crazy stuff and it doesn't look really professional, it's just going to deny your application to that, onto that company. So you really need to have somebody look at it. It needs to stand out, not because you want to be creative, putting crazy fonts or stuff like that. It needs to be readable and professionally done and reviewed by a person like Joanie. So I applied for a job when I got fired, and it was hard. It was hard, and it's so hard to prove yourself, especially if you haven't been applying for a job lately, right? And then you do it again. So if you are still applying for a job right now, type in job in the chat box, because we want to know if you are still applying for a job, because it's really hard to apply for a job with all this stuff going on, the COVID, the PDGM, the PDGM. There are a lot of reasons for you to be laid off. But the key here is you really need to stand out, ladies and gentlemen. The companies, like what Joanie said, they're going to look at your LinkedIn profile. They're going to even look at your Facebook. They're going to look at your Facebook. They're going to look at, you got to watch your Facebook too. Why? Yes, you may hide, what do you call that? Hide or whatever, your current post. But sometimes there are posts that are when you were like 2009, 2010 that they can still see because you didn't hide those. It was in public before, and it will just show up there. So you need to have somebody also checking your your Facebook. I don't know if you have that option called View As in Facebook. View as a visitor, view as a friend, view as a whatever you call that. So you have to check that out too. Third, websites are so cheap now. You could probably create a website, a static one-page website for like less than $100 or $50 or whatever. And if you create a website, like in my case, my initial website, drmikechua.com, it was just a one-page website. It says my name, my credentials, my job history, and my specialty and stuff like that. That's it. It's just a one-page website. Obviously, now our website is just like full of information where there are courses in there, there are membership sites, there's stuff like that. You don't want that. What you just need is the one-page website. What do you call that, Joan? The one-page website? What's one page?
Oh, just a landing page?
Yeah, just a landing. Yeah. Landing page. And then it will sound really professional. We're all professionals here. PT, OT, speech, PTA, or CODA, or whatever. If you go into an app, what you call this, a job interview, guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you say, "Oh, you can check out my resume, by the way, online at drmikechua.com or joaniejohnson.com." Sounds fancy, right? Even your emails are just so cheap now. Personalized email, it's just like $6 a month. My email, Mike Chua at tntherapyoutsource.com, $6 a month to keep it. We can buy Netflix. How much is Netflix now? $8, $12 a month. You know, uh, you can buy pizza, coffee for $10. $6 of your personalized email. I think it's a good investment, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to project some sort of a professionalism when you're applying for a job, because you're sending your email. In this my case, Mike at drmikechua.com or Joan at joanjohnson.com. Joan, I have another question for you.
Sure.
For example, I applied for a job and then I got rejected. Do I keep applying for that same job? I mean, what's your stand on that?
So I guess my question would be, did a recruiter reach out to you? Did you get an email notification stating, why it didn't go through? I would check your resume, and did you write a cover letter? That's the other thing that I think is really important, is having a professional cover letter that's really tailored to that specific position, because a hiring manager or somebody in HR is going to take you more seriously if you took the time to look at the job description, align your skills, abilities, and accomplishments to what is in that job description. Also with the culture of the organization, if they have a mission, values, something specific that they stand for, it always helps you stand out to have a really nice cover letter as well. I would say I wouldn't continue to keep applying for the same position if you haven't reviewed your documents and made maybe some sort of change. But, I do think that regardless on where you're at in your career, if you're a business owner, if you're right out of school, if you're in school, that you should have a professional resume and cover letter that you are proud of, that shows, what you're about, your skills, abilities, and accomplishments, because you never know when you're going to need it for one reason or another. And you don't want to all of a sudden see this great position that you want to apply for and not have a professional resume written and done to use. And I think in this day and age, it is a very different. I've written a lot of resumes recently for those of us that have been around in therapy a while. You really didn't have to have a very thorough resume. It's sort of who you know, and there were so many jobs you didn't really have to go through a formal process. It was a very different job market and a very different healthcare landscape. And now it's not that way, which is why it's even more important to have these professional documents ready, because there is a lot of competition. Like you said, PDGM, PDPM, reimbursement changes, COVID, restructuring of organizations all across the board. That's really impacted all of our professions. And, I think that those really highlighting what you bring to the table is going to work in your benefit.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah. I like what you mentioned about personalizing your what you call this, your cover letter. It's very important.
Mhm.
You know, you have to personalize it, ladies and gentlemen. Just like when you're treating a patient, just like when you're treating a patient, you just come in with the same protocol, the same procedure every time. No, we change it every time we go to a patient. We change our approach, we change our behavior, we change our techniques, we even change the repetition, the sets, we even progress in, whatever, what's the opposite of progress? uh,
Downgrade.
Downgrade your actual treatment approaches. And same thing when you're applying for a job, like what Joni said. You have to personalize it. Obviously, like what she said, the mission and vision. You need to be aligned on their mission and vision. Well, the question, the thing is, what can you provide that company? It's not what you can get from that company, it's what you can provide value. If you can provide value, an extra
Mhm.
level of service, an extra level of value, oh gosh. I've been interviewing a lot of therapists lately for an extra job in our area, and those people who I actually want to work with are the one who have that entrepreneurial spirit. I mean, Joni probably knows this. She owns a pediatric clinic, and the people I want to work with I want to have the entrepreneurial spirit. We're in. How can I help you, Michael? How can we grow your clinic? How can we grow your practice? Versus somebody, how many hours can you give me?
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you don't even have a patient. We don't even have patients yet on that area. Why ask me? How much are you going to pay me, Michael? I'm like, help me grow it on that specific area, and then let's go ahead and make it better. Yes, we understand. Yes, I understand that you need the job stability, the whatever you call that, the benefits and everything. But it's what just like asking for, in a fireplace. There's a fireplace. Imagine there's a fireplace. You don't tell the fireplace. Is that a fireplace? Did you call it a fireplace? Right?
Mhm.
Imagine there's a fireplace in your living room, and you're asking the fireplace to give you heat, and you haven't even done your part in putting the wood there and turning the whatever you call that, the light or fire on. You got to put the wood there first. You got to put the investment on that. You got to put the wood, a little bit of fire, of ignition or whatever you call that, and then you can ask more heat. Same thing when you're
Mhm.
applying for a job. What are you providing? In that way, they can see, oh, this person really wants to get this job and help also improve this company. Joan, you're going to say
Yeah.
something?
No, I think that's a really good point, Mike, because, like I said, contrary to the way it used to be, we really have to show so much more than a license number. It's more than a licensure. It's more than X years of experience. It really is relevancy to that position. So in this day and age, what are you going to bring to the company to help with their revenue, to help with their quality metrics, help with patient satisfaction, help with program growth and development? What are things that you've done in the past and things that you can bring to that organization? So I think that all of those things are very important to highlight in your documents. And I'm going to go a little bit more in depth with interviewing here too, Mike, because interviewing skills are also very important. And contrary to personal belief, really interviews are not tell me your strengths and your weaknesses. It's behavioral interviewing, which is very strategically focused on an action and an outcome and a result. So, thinking about specific patient examples, and there is a format for behavioral interviewing, and I've done a lot of behavioral interviewing, both on panels in my professional career, but it is a service that we offer to do coaching and behavioral interviewing practice, primarily because a lot of people get really nervous in interviews. They aren't prepared for the questions. They can't think of specific answers. They leave interviews thinking, oh my gosh, that was a nightmare. They're never going to call me back. And so going into an interview with confidence and being articulate and being able to answer the questions is also going to work in your benefit. So there's an acronym called STAR that will help with behavioral interviewing, answering the questions. So STAR is situation, task, action, and result. So as a interviewee or hiring manager, I ask applicants sometimes, because I'm in home health, I'll say, give me an example of a time when you had a conflict with a family member, a patient or a family member. Tell me what happened and what was the result. And so the questions aren't straightforward questions. They're like 3 or 4 tiered level of questions. So being able to organize a response in a very articulate way, thinking about a specific example, the task or the situation, and then the action, what you actually did, and then the result or the outcome. So again, being very results oriented is really important also in the interview process, because employers want to see that you're somebody that takes responsibility, can take feedback, can manage up, can manage conflict, because we all know that as therapists, we're not just providers. We are so much more. We are conflict managers, we're negotiators, we're motivators, we're coaches, we're all of these things. And so those are the key skills and abilities and the things you want to articulate also in an interview.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I think we need to do another session of this, right? So, but before we keep on going, we'll be back after this quick video that Joanie did for us. All right. We'll be back in a few seconds, in a minute or whatever you call that, right? All right, we are back from that quick break from Joanie. Thank you very much for doing that video. If you got any questions with regards to creating resume and stuff like that, you got to reach out to Joanie again. But before I keep on going, thank you very much for those people who are watching live. Please comment live if you're watching live. Of course, in the replay, please comment replay. I see Johan JC. He's actually the PT meal person. He's like the PT guy, the PT meal podcast guy. You got to check him out. I had a private message here from one listener here, and she is asking Joanie. Let me put you back in. There you go. Where are you at, Joanie? There you go. I have a suggestion. Ask Joan, how long should an email cover letter be, and what are some of the components of a good cover letter? Does it have to be like 4 or 5 pages of cover letter, or just a 1-pager? And what are the components? So,
yeah, I think so. As far as the resume goes, I think it's a misconception that a resume has to be just 1 page, because I think if anyone in the beginning, middle, or and more advanced in their career, it's going to be really hard to fit everything on 1 page and actually have an employer get a real feel and idea of what you represent, other than, again, just a license number and years of experience. So resumes for mid-career or even students, I would say generally the resumes that I write are about 2 pages, primarily because of the headings and the different components. Is you want to have not an objective statement. I call it a professional profile, which is a summary of, mine might say passionate occupational therapist with visionary and leadership skills, wanting to build cohesive teams and work on strategic operations. And then it might have a couple of other sentences in the very beginning. And then you'll have a section that has core competencies, which would be more bullet point proficiencies. So, any specific electronic health record, Epic proficiency, quality and risk, HIPAA, all the things, that you'd want to elicit your proficient in, and then going chronological. And there's different ways to write resumes. The ones that I primarily write are chronological resumes. I've done a couple functional resumes, but I don't really think in the line of healthcare they're quite as common. And then of course there's curriculum vitae for people that are more in research or education. If you're a publisher or an educator, then your resume might look a little bit different. But then having your specific education, licensure, and having it very clear and bullet pointed. And once you fill out all of those sections and have the relevant information, organized, clear, concise, and not redundant, I would say for the resume, it's normally about 2 pages. And sometimes I think one tip or trick that I would give, because I think it's pretty common in all of our professions to have multiple jobs. I'm PRN here, I'm PRN there, I'm part-time here. It's pretty common. And if you are PRN at 5 different facilities, 5 different companies, and the time frame is about the same, sometimes I will combine those, because otherwise, if you're listing out every single one, it's going to take up a lot of real estate, and it's going to make it look like you have been a lot of different places, which sometimes get a misconception of, they can't keep a job, or they're sort of all over the place, which is obviously not always accurate. So there's different ways that you can organize your document to be clear, concise, and straightforward. For a cover letter, I would keep to 1 page. So, addressing it to, putting the information, the job position or title, and then again, your professional profile. And I would put some key accomplishments or anything tangible that you want to highlight in the cover letter that's very specific to the position you're applying to. So, if you're an OT and you're applying to a school district, for example, you'd want to put in your experience with IEP meetings and understanding IDEA and, standardized testing and collaboration with teachers and all of those things. They might be in your resume, and we don't want to be redundant, but I would put those specifically in the cover letter, because obviously those are things that are going to be in the job description that you're applying to. And I would also say it's not uncommon to have even more than 1 version of your resume. Like for me, for example, I have a leadership resume that has my leadership skills, and I have a clinical resume because I still do provide some treatment in pediatrics occasionally. And then I also have, more of a curriculum vitae that's more my entrepreneurial work. So not to say you can't have more than 1 version of your resume, depending on if you want to apply strictly to, clinical-based patient-facing positions like physical therapist, and then you have another one for maybe a clinical liaison position. That's more for utilization review or something along those lines, in addition to the cover letter. So I think there's not really one right or wrong way, as long as you're following the general guidelines for both ATS and clear, concise, and being very focused on outcomes.
All right, that's amazing, ladies and gentlemen. If you are still watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. I just want to highlight, I don't know if you see me looking down and up, because I'm writing stuff down, ladies and gentlemen. You got to write things down. If you don't write things down, this is a free interview here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not even paying Joanie to do this. We're supposed to be paying her, right, for her time and effort, right? But if you can just put in, thank you, Joanie, thank you, Joanie Johnson, or whatever, please type in there, because I really appreciate her. You got to write things down, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't write things down, it's not going to become a reality. If you want to learn stuff, you obviously write it down. Why? Because if you see it, you forget. When you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually doing it or writing it down and you're saying it, you're actually understanding it more. So that's the reason why I write things down. I like what she said about organizing your resume, making sure it's clear and concise. A lot of our resume there are just like boom, because we want to put everything there. Just like cooking. When you're cooking, I don't cook. My wife cooks for me. But if I cook, I put everything. Put the salt, the pepper, all the spices. And it ends up so not so good. But my wife, she puts just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Very simple. But guess what? So good. The bread that she's cooking right now or baking, I smell it here right now. It's just simple. But the key, it's the simpler, the better. Okay, organized, clear, and concise. And one thing that she also mentioned, your key accomplishments. You got to highlight those, whether it's a small win or a big win. Write it down. For example, in your therapy, you once worked as a assistant to the director, right? Anybody here who's been watching The Office? If you're watching The Office, if you watch The Office, excuse me, there's this guy. His name is Dwight Schrute. He always like pretend, oh, I'm assistant to the assistant regional manager, whatever you call that. It's just funny. If you've been an assistant to the director, type it down that for 1 week or 2 weeks you have managed your department, your scheduling, the leadership, stuff like that. You highlight
Mhm.
your key accomplishments. So before we go back to Joni, there's a private message for me, for you actually. Question to Joni. I just have a job offered and hired me and signed me as a PRN. Then scheduled to start. However, okay. However, until now, the company have not called me to start work. I contacted them. They said they will call me. However, until no schedule now. What suggestion do you advise?
I would try to see if you can connect with somebody about some clarity. Even if it's a PRN position, I would think that they would have some onboarding process for training and orientation. And so, even if it's, we all know that sometimes that's fast forward, it's quick onboarding. But I would see if you could connect with somebody and get an idea of what to expect, because if you're holding out for a PRN position, or if you're under the impression or been told that it's going to be one thing and it's not, and then you might need to obviously make some other arrangements, look for a different position, or make sure that it's going to fit your needs too. So, and I wouldn't be shy about getting some clarity.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm reading some of the messages here. Thank you for pointing that out. All right. Somebody said thank you. Kobe said thank you. Thank you very much, Kobe. You're welcome. He actually, he's the one who's been asking me stuff. And then Alexis said also thank you, Joni. And then one of our person watching. I'm getting old. I can't even read it.
Claudia. Hi, Claudia.
Claudia, thank you very much for watching live. Thank you, Mike and Joni, for your time and professional advice. There you go. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Another question, Joni. I know you're very busy. What time zone are you at?
So I'm in Oregon, so I'm Pacific time.
Okay, gosh, so you're still good, right? You're still good.
Yeah, it's much later for you.
I know, right? I got some guests that coming from Eastern time. They're like, "Oh, we'll just pass today, Michael." I'm like, "Oh gosh." So, well, anyway, I guess my question is, as a practitioner, or somebody, for example, in applying, for example, I got denied, and how many times? I already asked this question. How many times should I keep on applying on that same job title, or do I just say no, or just move on the next to a next job, or what's your take on that?
So I would say, and this is one of the reasons why LinkedIn. So again, I'm going to do a little plug for LinkedIn because, there are ways with certain packages that you can connect with a recruiter for a specific position through LinkedIn and ask questions. And so I also would see if there's anybody that who either is employed there or has a connection, because we all know that professional connections can be very helpful. I do think that, and I do think that having somebody review your professional resume will help, just to make sure that there's not a specific reason why it's being rejected. And I can give, if we have time for me to give a little short story about this, I think it actually puts things in perspective. Because the large hospital system that I work for, we have an ATS system called Taleo. So all of the positions go through this ATS system before they get to our talent acquisition. And I had a colleague who said, "Hey, my friend is a nurse, applied for our open nurse position." And I reached out to the recruiter and I said, "Well, I don't see her in my inbox," because I can see. So the recruiter goes through things that go through ATS, and then she forwards me the people that she sees meet the criteria. And I said, well, I don't see this applicant. I know that she applied. Can you please search for them? And so the recruiter went through and searched through for her name through all the applicants and pulled her resume forward. And the reason why she didn't get through was exactly this ATS tracking system, because her resume was poorly formatted. It didn't have the keywords and key terms. It was not organized in a way that really showed that she was a home health nurse. And so I've actually seen on both sides writing job descriptions and seeing how they're posted through large hospital systems, as well as hearing, hey, this person applied, hasn't come through yet. How important having a professionally formatted resume is.
You know what? That's so true. Thank you very much for pointing that out. Work from home, be awesome says hello. Thank you very much for watching Work from Home and Be Awesome. That's my VA there. Thank you very much, Tasha. And then there's the question here from Yolanda. Yolanda, thank you very much for watching, sister. She's really a good student of mine. She's part of our master class and everything like that. And she's asking, do you only do medical professional resumes or?
No, I've actually written resumes for lots of different fields of work. Retail, sales. I wrote a resume for somebody who was in a field that I knew nothing about. So I had to do a little bit of research. I've written resumes for project managers, engineers. I would say healthcare is a little bit more of my niche. It's sort of my zone of genius because I know what we do. So, and I also know both from a practitioner perspective and a hiring manager and business owner perspective, what I would be and am looking for in a candidate. But a lot of the qualifications and guidelines for writing resumes are, similar across the board, although the content and the context is a little bit different based on obviously your industry and the language and industry standards. So.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Well, thank you very much, Joanie, for doing that, for answering that awesome question from Yolanda. Again, if you are still watching live, please comment live. And then if you have any questions for Joanie, this is the perfect time to ask her some questions with regards to how to finally, at least get your foot on the door, because that's the first part there, just getting your foot on the door. And then next is it's your personality now, like what Joanie was talking about, your personality, your interview skills, be interested, not interesting. I always say that when somebody asks, hey, any interview tips, be interested in the company, interested with the CEO, the CFO, interested with the person that you're talking to, you're actually asking them a question because you're interested. Treat them like your patient. I don't know if you noticed, there are two types of therapists. The one therapist is the one who keeps on asking the patient. When you're evaluating a patient, you're always asking the patient, "Oh, what happened? Oh. So how did you fall? Did you hurt yourself? Did you lose consciousness? Did you slip? Where did you fall? Did you fall in the bathroom or in the kitchen or in the living room and stuff like that?" Somebody who's asking question versus a therapist who comes in, "Oh, it's just so busy today, Mrs. Smith. I have a hard time. Let's go ahead and do your evaluation today, or let's go ahead and do your treatment today." Same thing when you're applying for a job. Be interested. Don't be interesting. It's all about you. You talk about you. Talk about Oh, this is my achievement. Okay, yes, it's so nice to show your. I got several published books, and it's nice. It's good. It's a good marketing tool. But if you come in talking about you, they're not going to be interested in you. So the resume is the first step. You got to pass on the ATS, and then actually interviewing itself. Actually, when I got fired, I enjoyed interviewing because I get to go out and to be able to learn and do my interviewing skills. And I realized, I need to work on my my interviewing skills. How to be humble. Sometimes, I realize, humility is also very important, because there was a time in therapy that they needed us. So we were like, okay, fire me today, I can get a job tomorrow. All right. And somebody, okay, well, I'm going to can't find it. And when I got fired, I learned the humility of asking for a job. Actually asking, hey, am I really qualified for this? Can I really do this? And you know, questioning me, and to the point that I'm being interested in them now. You know, not looking you're really desperate, but really being interested, genuinely. Is that how you pronounce it? Genuinely
Genuinely.
interested with the company. So
Well, and I'll say too, Mike, I can think of it. Maybe this is kind of an extreme example, but it's a good one that
go
comes to
ahead. Yeah.
times. So,
Explain.
so being in home health, I had a person who had applied for a position as a home health RN. And in the phone interview with her, and I don't know how she ended up getting through the ATS screening process, but so in my phone interview with her, she said, well, I'm allergic to cats. I'm allergic to smoking, to cigarette smoke. I don't really like driving. I'm not very good at driving. I don't know how to use a GPS. And I thought, do you know the job that you applied for? Because you're in home health. You're going to go to all sorts of different places. You have to drive in the car. You're going to be stuck in traffic. You have to use your GPS. And I was sort of like, so I sort of stepped back and thought, she's clearly somebody, even if we were really desperate to fill a position, I would not have hired that candidate because she wanted to get her foot in the door to work for the organization, and then she would just transfer somewhere else. So we would spend all this time and effort training, orienting, onboarding somebody who really is not invested in home health. They don't really. And so, you know, when I do interviews and it's somebody who says, I'm really passionate, I love home health because I get to see the patient in their home. I feel like I really make a difference. I get quality time with the patients. So those are sorts of things that you're like, oh my gosh, it's heartwarming, right? Those are the sorts of people that you want to hire because they want to do the work and they want to care for the patients, and they are the type of employees that you want on your team.
All right. All right. Oh wow. I don't know what if you were listening there, ladies and gentlemen. She mentioned about the type of people you want to hire a team. So speaking of team, we have a team here. We're going to be going back in a real quick break. This is a team of Hello Note.
HelloNote is a truly therapist-friendly practice management solution with integrated EMR that will enhance workflow, efficiency, and patient care. HelloNote reduces error and allows you to spend more time with your patients. It comes integrated with billing. Claims are generated once a note is completed. You can bill with one click and a patient portal, which streamlines the patient intake process. Beautifully engineered and cloud-based for easy accessibility, the software works on all platforms. You can access patient records from anywhere. We also offer 24/7 support. HelloNote is the practice management solution that you're looking for.
All right. Thank you very much for coming over, for watching that. Hello Note, Steve Gluck. Thank you very much, Steve. He's actually an OT, and he's just an amazing person. And he's been helping me out with private practice. And without him and using his system, I'm going to have a hard time doing all of my stuff. So he's very, very supportive. And that's the reason why we have that short video with that. Before I keep on going, there's a comment here from Yolanda. She said, I need one for a PM or have it reviewed. What is a PM?
Project manager?
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done some project
Okay.
management courses myself. Yeah, if you want to, Yolanda, if you want to message us through the website, we do offer a free resume, quick resume review service. So if you want to send us a message, I'm happy to look at it for you.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, Joanie. So, Joanie, again, before I let you go, any last parting wisdom for those people who are actually looking for a job right now? And then after that, what website we can reach out to you? Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So if you're on a job search for whatever reason, I mean, everyone's situation is a little bit different. I think we've all been impacted by COVID in one way or another, but if you're wanting to transition out of direct patient care, if you're wanting to go into a leadership position, if you're wanting to find something obviously that's remote and is going to work just better for your life, you reach out to us. We're more than happy. We can give job search tips and tricks too, as far as, where to look, how to apply. I think sometimes searching for a new position can be really overwhelming, especially if you're feeling defeated and frustrated. And so, we want to partner with you and help you in your search. So.
All right. Well, again, thank you very much, Joanie. Where can we reach you again? What website? I think it was showing there earlier. Uh,
Yeah, so it's
Polish to Prosper.
polish2prosper.com.
Mhm. Why polish to prosper?
So polish, like you're wanting to polish your documents, you're wanting to have them shine, stand out. And then you want to be prosperous, right? So whatever prosperous means to you doesn't necessarily have to mean financially prosperous. It means satisfied, satiated, any of those things. So you want to polish your documents so you can prosper.
Amazing. Can you spell satiated? Just kidding.
Oh boy.
Let's just say satisfied, right? Oh gosh.
Satisfied. Yep.
I'm such a foreign. English is the hardest language to learn, ladies and gentlemen. I was just telling this to one of my, actually, one of the nurses that I was working with. And she's like, Michael, don't you know this word? I'm like, no, English is not my first language. I had to learn. And I told her about the Charlie Horse's story. The Charlie Horse's story, and wherein I called the patient and I called her, hey, can I go to your place and do some therapy with you? And she said, no, don't come over here because I'm having Charlie Horses. I'm like, what is Charlie Horse? I called the office and told them, hey, she doesn't want me to come in because she's having a friend named Charlie Horses. And it's hard, very hard to learn. And this is real story too. This during our dinner, we were eating. My wife asked our kids, and she asked our kids, "What does 2 cents mean?" Because there's this guy that keep on saying, telling her, "Here's my 2 cents." But that guy that wasn't giving it, weren't giving any 2 cents actually. So, so yeah, English is a very hard language to learn. It says here, there you go. That's the spelling apparently, according to alternative healthcare career. Thank you for pointing that spelling. And Kobe said, thank you, said smarty topic tonight. Thank you, Kobe. Appreciate you. Again, where can we reach you again, Joanie? Your website and your email? Mm-hmm.
So it's www.polish2prosper.com.
All right. And then they can get your email there inside that website.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my assistant, Tanya Peterson, like I said, who's also an OT. She's helping me with projects and so we're pretty fast to respond. So
I can see that. I see your response and everything in our group. Again, thank you very much, Joanie. I appreciate you. Again, thank you very much, Alternative Career Group. But before I let you go, always remember the word FAST, F-A-S-T, letter F. Find friends that will push you to your next level because you are the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So who are you hang out with? Today, I hang out with Joanie Johnson. Guess what? I feel like I know Lincoln now. I feel like I know what to do now when I'm applying for a job. Hopefully, I don't need to apply for a job. And lately, I've been the one who's interviewing. But you'll never know. You'll never know. You learn from it. You learn from it. So the next letter is letter A. You got to learn how to take action, ladies and gentlemen. When you're applying for a job, don't wait for the perfect timing. Yes, your resume, it may not be perfect. Just keep applying. If you want to make it perfect, reach out to Joanie, and hopefully she can make it perfect. But it doesn't have to be perfect. The key here is keep applying. When you make a mistake, do it all over again and reapply again, or learn how to adapt and adjust. Okay. And letter S. Share and subscribe. Share and subscribe our channel. Share and subscribe our Facebook page, our YouTube page. The more shares, the more like, the better, because we just want to grow our team, because in that way we can help more people, because the more people that we help, the more lives that we change, the better, right? The better. And last but not the least is letter T, is teach it. Why? Because when you hear it, you forget. When you see it, you remember. But when you're actually teaching it and writing it and doing it, you actually understand it more. So speaking of teaching, I'll be teaching that Alzheimer's disease dementia care seminar, the required course to be a certified dementia practitioner. If you want to be, get CEU at the same time and extra letters behind your name, it's going to be this weekend, the 29th and the 30th. I teach that every month. We've been doing that for almost a year now. Since before COVID, we were doing this already, both online and live. but now it's purely online. Please join. And the website is drmikechua.com/ADDC. All right. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Be awesome, be great, be excellent. And we will see you around, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our website at drmikechua.com or alternativehealthcarecareers.com for more information. Again, ACG, be awesome, be great, be excellent. Thank you, and hope to see you on our next episode. Goodbye.